Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Masterclass. I'm John Tanalia. Today we're going to hear a mezzo soprano sing a daunting song from the Broadway show Light in the Piazza. ANDREA will be singing Dividing Day. Her panelists are Maestra Regina Marrazza, Bernice Wood-Harris, Roy Wilbur, Daniel Pantano, and Mark Anderson. Please sit back and listen to the live singing.
Hi, my name is ANDREA, and I'm singing Dividing Day from Light in the Piazza. Dashing as the day we met, only there is something I don't recognize, though I cannot name it yet. I know it. Beautiful is what you are, only somehow wearing a frightening disguise. I can see the winter in your eyes now, telling me, thank you, we're done here, not much to say. We are together, but I have had dividing day. So when was this day? Was it on the church step? Suddenly you're out of love. Does it go creeping slowly? When was your dividing day? I can see the winter in your eyes now, telling me, Margaret, we did it. You curtsied, I bowed. We are together, but no more love, no more love. When was dividing day? Was it on the church step? Did it happen right away? Were you lying next to me, hiding what you couldn't say? How could I have guessed? Was my cheek upon your chest? And you shone away. When was dividing day?
Very nice. Thank you very much. And we're going to start with Regina first. Please.
So, Andre, it's probably one of the creepiest songs because it is it's what every woman hates to hear, like when they hang up the phone and you lose your breath. But I'd like you to play on that a little more, that it's not so sometimes your beautiful vibrato comes in too soon, because I think she's so out of breath after she just talks to him on the phone. And so I would save that part, that legato, drama that you have in your voice that's beautiful, for a little later, because I think she has lost her breath. I don't know how long I'm supposed to talk, because I could talk for days. Danny can tell you that. But I'll talk for like 5 minutes and then we can pass it on. I think you'd like the tempo to be just a little quicker. Maybe. I'd like you to think of that because, again, the breathiness should come. And so it should just be just a smidge quicker. And I think it should be a thinner sound at the beginning. It's a creepy piece to perform and to really sell. And basically, you don't want to sell it. You're actually vomiting inside, but you're trying to, Margaret is so composed, okay? And she needs to do this. The questioning needs to keep coming. And also I want to hear his voice. The notes can't change, but you have to show me that it's really him sometimes saying, Margaret, we're done here. But so I'd love, there has to be a little more contrast, but all thinner to the very end. So I didn't know if you wanted to, the way I would set the tempo is dashing down the day we met, da, 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 da. And that's so hard for the pianist to begin because he's doing that sort of guitar. So, but just,
Would you like to try that in the beginning?
Yes,
just for a little, but keep it real thin, the sound this way.
Everybody mute, please.
Try it. You might hate it, but just try it.
Dashing as the day we met, only there is something I don't recognize, though I cannot name it yet. I know it.
Okay.
I would start much softer.
Okay.
Much softer because it's like, what did he just say? Dashing as, very breathy, without being music theater breathy, but more, it's a thin sound. And I would love you to go, I know it. And I would respect the dot. I took the time to put the tie, the slur, the whole over the half note. So I would give that I would give sort of that legato and then come back more breathy.
Okay.
You can just start right on dashing.
Dashing as the day we met, only there is something I don't recognize, though I cannot name it yet. I know it. Beautiful is what you are, only somehow wearing a frightening disguise. I can see the winter in your eyes now, telling me, thank you, we're done here. Not much to say. We are together, but I have had dividing day. So when was this day?
So Andrea, like chills, because there was more contrast. I really appreciated that. And I really felt that. So that was great. But I think once you go to, but I have had dividing day, which is, it's him, so ghetto to say that, like dividing day, it's like a creepy way of saying like, that's when it all ended. And I went to a different thing, but I would work on that dividing day. And I would do the crescendo diminuendo. And then, but everything, that thinner, lighter, breathy, oh my God, sort of voice was really so much better. Can we just jump to after, when she asked the questions, was it then? Was it when I was on your chest, when I was doing this? Can you go to that part?
The break or before the break?
Before the break. So when, just where you were. And again, do sort of the terraces going, was it this, was it that? It's like, we've all been there. And we say, wow, why didn't I realize that? But save your voice to get, because you have a raw voice, but save it, save it.
I'm trying not to cry, that's why I'm going. Okay.
Yeah.
So when was this day? Was it on the church step? Suddenly you're out of love, does it go? Creeping slowly, when was your dividing day? I can see the winter in your eyes now, telling me, Margaret, we did it. You curtsied, I bowed. We are together, but no more love, no more love, love. When was dividing day? Was it on the church step? Did it happen right away? Were you lying next to me, hiding what you couldn't say? How could I have guessed? Was my cheek upon your chest? And ocean away.
So because I know other people have things to say, John, can I say two more things and then I'll step back?
Absolutely.
When you do the questions, the 50 questions at the end, you cannot give it, you got to go pianissimo, mezzo, piano, you have to go the different route because you land too soon, hiding what you couldn't say, how could I have guessed? But the most intimate was when she says, was my cheek upon your chest? I mean, she bears all. So that has to be, you have to pull back. Is that when you hurt me? You know, was it then? And then there's sort of like this acceptance. I wouldn't do the giri when you go, I wouldn't cry there. I wouldn't do that cry there. When was divine? I would wait till then. And watch your pitch on the C. It's the only pitch issue that I felt. That jump is I would stay to the very right of that note, divine, and then do your crescendo diminuendo.
Okay.
Great.
So I say thank you, wonderfully done.
Thank you.
Let's go to Bernice, please. Okay, I ask you to unmute.
All right. Beautiful job. I loved it. Really loved it. I'm a theater person, not an opera person. So please, please excuse me for not having all the technical words and expression, everything that I would normally want to say. I say more in a theatrical way, more of a performance way about your piece. I think the story of the song is the most important thing to piggyback off of what Regina had said. I agree with everything she had said. And I think when you first come in, yes, a softer, more vulnerable, almost feeling lost kind of expression of what you're going through, holding back at different moments just to color it differently, because when you get into all the reasons why this may have happened, they all sort of they get lost if they're too similar. So pulling back on some, just allowing yourself to see the vision of what happened, these different moments in your relationship, the different things that happen, so that you can color it differently. There could be things where you felt extremely vulnerable, and other moments where it was like fun that you had with him, or just confusion. Just allow yourself to feel the myriad of emotions that you had. What else was I saying? Pretty much I agree with it, everything Regina was saying. So to allow more soft, and in the end, yeah, it's just another, I feel like at the end, it's almost like, yes, acceptance, but also still feeling lost. You're not totally accepting, because you can't really accept the end of a relationship within, a 2-minute song. So I think maybe pulling some of that in there too, as well as maybe the acceptance, or just more of the feeling lost. Pretty much that was all I had to add on to what she had said. Yeah, emotion, for me, it's more emotion versus technique, because I think, the operatic sounding voice is a beautiful thing, but also pulling it back so it feels more like it's coming from your soul, and just bearing all those emotions. But it's a beautiful piece. So that's pretty much my 2 cents. But beautiful job. Loved it.
Thank you, Bernice. Thank you so much. Okay, let's start with Roy. We're going to push.
So,
Great.
yeah, really nice job, and everything that Regina and John and Bonnie said. A couple of things I'd like you to think about. Think about a phone call that you've had, where when you've hung up from that phone call, you've had a very tense conversation with somebody, and they have said something to you that really upset you. And think about that before you even start the song. I would like you to think about a phone call and sort of reflect upon, maybe we've all had these kind of phone calls before, one time or another. So I'd like you to think about that as one thing. The other thing is, why are you calling him? You're calling him because Fabrizio and Clara are falling in love, right? So why are you calling him? You're calling him to tell him about this. And he's very brusque with you about it. He doesn't even want to hear about it, because he doesn't even like the idea of the two of them getting together because of Clara's developmental disability. So think about that as well when you're doing this, but also the fact that Clara is finding love. Clara is finding love with Fabrizio. and you're going through this period of where your husband is falling out of love with you. So I think to kind of think about that as you're singing the song, think of it as kind of a subtext of you're torn because, oh my God, my daughter is finding love, and here I am, I'm struggling with love. So it's kind of, I think that will help you internally in terms of how you're thinking about singing the song and the words of the song. Think about both of those as sort of a subtext. And I agree with Regina. The points where he is actually speaking, where you're reflecting on him saying something to you, I agree with Regina. And there needs to be something, I don't know what, but think about how you can sort of present those particular quoted sections of the song, if you will, being said by your husband. And maybe, I don't know, maybe the color of your voice does change a little bit. I don't know, but just sort of play around with that as well. But along with what Bonnie and Regina said, that's what I have to offer, to just consider these as sort of subtext as you're singing the song. And also getting ready to sing the song rather than just going right into it. Think about that phone call and hanging up from that phone call and what that phone call was like for you.
Great, thank you, Roy. Okay, let's go to Mike Anderson, please.
First of all, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, success. That is one tough song to sing, and you did an excellent job. I want to ask you a question. Would you sing this song for an audition?
Would I sing it?
For an audition?
Would I sing this song for an audition?
Yes.
Well, if I was doing Light in the Piazza, but.
Okay, good answer. Because you have such a fantastic voice. Unless they specifically asked you to sing this song, I'll bet you there are other songs that show your voice off better, because musicals, oh my God, how many times you go in and they go, I want 8 measures of your best song.
Yeah, right.
So you don't get to do a whole song like this where we can see what a great actress you are, how good your vocal intonation is, how good the emotionalism that you give this song by. So, and you got all the motivation for this song from everybody else. There is nothing I'm going to add to that. It's just that, yes, I think I would want you to know that if you were going for, I don't know, My Fair Lady or some other song like that, this would not be a song you could sing at that audition. I'm sorry, I'm not insulting anybody else. Half the time, the directors look at your resume and say, well, can you read music? And, you go, no, I have a master's from Juilliard because I just paid for it. They don't necessarily know anything. And unless they're a very intuitive director, they won't get it. But your interpretation for this particular song I think it was fabulous. Everybody already mentioned the 2 places where the notes could have been better. But, excellent emotional rendition of an extremely difficult song. You're a better man than I am, Gunga Din, because I couldn't sing that song. All right. Congratulations.
Thanks. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Mark. And finally, Daniel.
Well, I'm a virgin to this piece, a virgin. Never heard it before. So I will say, number 1, I friggin' loved it. I thought you blew it out of the water. I'm the ticket holder that's in the orchestra watching you do this. Okay. I felt emotionally it was there, not knowing what her issue is at hand. Okay. I agree with everything they said to add to it, add the little sugar to it. The first thing I would say is I love hearing your voice, meaning a professionally trained voice, singing this repertory. So much I hear the squeaky olas, do you know what I mean, that think they can emote, you know what I mean? But unless you have the voice, which you do have for this, I also felt, hearing it for the first time, and I know your classical stuff more than I know your Broadway. I felt that you really did a crossover in a very high professional way to a Broadway sound. I don't figure that you were trying to do something different, but it was a different style to me than it might be with Strauss. And I love that, knowing that you have a major vocal background that can switch over. A lot of people can't do that. You know, you could do 2 auditions that day. You could do Fledermaus, at 10 o'clock, and you could do this at 2 o'clock, and I think you're going to not carry one over to the other than the training itself. So what I'm trying to say is it sounded great. Now I'm going to ask a really nasty question.
Nasty.
Who sang this on Broadway? Who starred in this role?
My favorite was the original. Gosh, who knows the answer to this? I prefer her version to Fleming's. So I'll just put that out there on the internet.
Yeah, I didn't even know who was in the show.
It's Kelly and
The only nice thing I would say is that I see you doing it as you. I don't know who the other person is, but I didn't see you copying anything. And I think what Gina, Roy, Mark, and Bonnie said adds to it. But I think it's a great beginning. And I mean, it's sort of like, wow, do you know what I mean? What they're giving you is the sugar on top. But vocally, I like knowing that it's classically oriented, but has a great Broadway feel. So that's it.
Yeah, I'm a newbie to the Broadway thing, so oh, there. Who's that?
Who is that? I don't, let's see. Who? Get it. Bernice, get it.
Take your mic off.
Yvette Mimieux?
Oh, okay, I don't know her.
No,
We can go on one.
don't know. Sadly, don't know.
Yeah, I have no clue.
Yeah, I'm sorry I didn't know more about it, but I think you needed that virgin look at it going, holy moly.
I got the original cast listing up here. There's Seattle, Broadway, and the national tour. So which one would we be comparing her to?
It's the PBS recording. It was the one with Kelly O'Hara and
Okay, I have the one, that's the Broadway 205, Kelly O'Hara. What part was yours?
Margaret Johnson.
Okay, unfortunately, I just touched the screen and lost everything I was looking at. Don't you love it?
That's all right, I wouldn't have known who it was.
Yeah, sorry. Which
Kelly O'Hara would have sung Margaret. Kelly O'Hara would have sung Margaret.
No. Kelly O'Hara sang Clara.
Clara.
Oh, she sang Clara.
Yeah, there's Franca. There isn't even a character listed named Margaret. So, guess I can't answer that question.
That's all right.
Margaret Johnson, Victoria Clark.
That's it, Victoria Clark. Fabulous. She's from England, and she used, a North Carolina sort of accent when she was talking. So, yeah.
No, I thought you did a great job. Great.
Oh, yeah, you were awesome.
Absolutely. Andrea, thank you. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, you have some great advice. I'd like to also thank, if I can switch without screwing everything up, because I'm so technically great here. If we can go to Hugh, and thank you for marvelous playing. As usual, Maestro, you've grown up. Thank you very much. And I'm going to switch back, hopefully, get everybody here. Andrea, I think that you have a wonderful panel here. There's a vast knowledge of performing and artistry that's unmatched, really. And they gave you so many great things to do. I would really highly recommend not that I would take everything that everybody said and make it your own. That's my only critique to that is that, it's so hard to technically sing when you're trying to be that emotional. And when you make that connection and it comes off, which it did, sincere, that would be my critique, was that the only thing that I missed was you crying, which I know it's almost an impossibility, but what everybody said, putting it all together and then making it your own, is going to be, it'll be phenomenal. And I can't wait to see this again. And I would love to hear you sing this again. And we'd love to have you back again. So with that being said, thank you so much. Is there anything else anybody would like to hear? Because we still have a few minutes, if I'm not mistaken. Hold on one second. Yes, we do. Would anybody like to hear anything else? Or go over any specific part? Because we can also do that. I think that. Go ahead. You want to say? Would you like to hear something or want something?
So can we hear My Hair Marquee and then wave goodbye?
Absolutely. Yes.
She's wearing pants. She's wearing pants. Let her do it.
Okay. I'm going to ask everybody, can you please? Okay.
And now I shall acquaint you with the rules of my house. Chacun à son goût, each to his own taste. Maestra. From time to time I entertain, I am the perfect host. My friends drink vodka and champagne and do what they like most. Each one is free to have his fun, the house is freedom home. Other words to clean up on, it is a free for all. You're free to go, you're free to come, you're free to go astray. I want you to enjoy yourself, but don't get in my way. I want you to enjoy yourself, but don't get in my way. And if this does not suit you, that too is up to you. That too is up to you. Viruscion servo molto, chacun à son goût. Viruscion servo molto, chacun à son goût. There's not a sight I have not seen, a place I have not been. There's not a thing beneath the sun I have
Unfortunately, this is all we have time for. So I'd like to thank Regina, I'd like to thank Mark, Daniel, I'd like Bernice, and Roy. Thank you so much today. Again, we'll have you back soon, I promise.
Thank you, everyone.
You're welcome. Awesome.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, John.
Great. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Come on.